happy to have you all here as a part of the Rice World Summit. Yuma, do you want to quickly give it a good start?
So thank you, Aparna. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining this session. The name of this session is Generation Global, Uniting Voices from sorry. Let me quickly check this. Uniting Voices from, I cannot see it
Different
quickly.
countries.
Different countries, sorry, that I cannot see it here. Yeah, different countries amplify change as I recall. And we are global shapers in this panelist. And we all gather here from different countries and different cities from around the world. We are here to discuss what we can bring change to society as young change makers, and I'm very excited to discuss with everyone here. And yeah, brief introduction about global shapers from my side. So actually, before going there, Aparna, can you maybe give us introduction about this summit, and I can maybe give some introduction about the Global Shapers community?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, Yuma. Hi, everyone. Just like I mentioned, thank you so much for joining us. We have people from 6 countries here. So happy to have you all part of the Rice World Summit. So everybody would be thinking, what is Rice World Summit? And I have given you a quick hint. But yes, for others, I just thought I'll give a quick hint again. So people who are already on the platform, they will already have a hint about it. So yes, Rice World Summit is been organized by organizations IDOBRO and the Rice Infinity Foundation in India. So we have been organizing this for last 10 years, and this is the 11th edition. And we have close to 150 events happening, and over 70 countries hosting a lot of programs. Over 130 partners, 8,000 people on the platform. Yeah, so this is the we were able to get the figure this morning, and we have been hosting a lot of events around SDGs, system thinking, diversity, equity, inclusion, CSR, and ESG. And all these 5 days, starting from 15th to 20th, has been power packed with multiple sessions happening along with the different partners. Yeah, that's a quick hint about Rice World Summit. And idea behind Rice World Summit is like a lot of organizations, we work as silos, separately, individually, doing a social impact. But the idea is to bring together, collaborate, so that, we make a bigger voice together. So the impact is also multiplied. So that's the hint about Rice World Summit. Over to you, Yuma. Thank you.
Thank you, Aparna. That's an amazing initiative, and I'm very excited to be a part of this summit. And now I can talk about Global Shapers. Yes, we are all Global Shapers, and the Global Shapers community is a network of young change makers. We are basically among 18 to 30 years old, so basically almost like many of us are in 20s. And we are here to bring change society to improve, like at the local scale and also at the global scale. So global shapers also have like some of the impact areas. So we focus on climate change, for example, or reskilling for the future. We have all these action areas so that we can really focus on some of the pressing issues in the global, in the world, to really change like what we should in our generation. And yeah, we have like over 10,000 global shapers in the world, and there are many hubs in many countries and areas. And all of us global shapers belong to the hub, and we launched some of the initiatives to bring change to our society. So yeah, that is a global shapers. And as I said in earlier, in this session, we will explore like what we can do, what we should speak up for, and like how we should really bring change. Maybe we should collaborate together, or we should just speak up for the next generation. I'm very excited to hear from all the panelists here to really explore about like the possibilities of our actions and power as youth. So, having said that, I want to hear about like what each panelist here is like has been trying to do in their hub as global shaper. So let me ask Alfred maybe first. Can you share with us like what you do in your city, in your hub, and like how your hobbies, how your activities as global shapers have been, and etc.
Thank you very much, Yuma. Can everyone hear me? Afana, can you hear me clearly? Okay, that's good.
Yes.
To be here once again. My name is Alfred, and I'm currently the founding creator for the Author Hub. It's based in West Africa, Nigeria to be specific. Creator means that I actually that vision started from a personal, a personal motivation to really, really impact my local community in terms of empowering the younger generation. I initially was working on a tech startup that I built with a couple of friends where we were enabling tech education for high school students. So we were putting out solutions to ensure that these kids in high school, before they got graduated, they could get access to digital education. So that vision translated into the hub, and that's what we're currently working on. So we have what we've decided to do, translating that vision into the Global Shapers Hub here in Ottawa, is that we've brought the mission statement, we've brought the solution that we built and sort of infused it into a network of schools in the local community. So instead of we're partnering with schools in the local community. So it means that if a school already has a computer lab, we go in there with our trainers and our facilitators, and we're offering free trainings for these kids, just to ensure that they can really, really be positioned for the future of work, for the future of education. Tech is really, really getting, infused into different aspects in terms of work, in terms of finance, in terms of education. And we're really, really just paying our in the local community of that digital economy. So that's what we're doing currently here for Author Hub, and my own pleasure to be here to speak about that as the panel session goes on. Thank you very, very much, Yuma.
Thank you, Alfred, for sharing. Alfred is from Ota, Nigeria, and yeah, like you will hear more stories from different shapers here. Let's go on. Aparna, can you share about your story?
Yeah. I just thought more than I speaking, I would like to show some pictures from Coimbatore Hub. So, a lot of people also feel happy. I don't know, let me just try to share the screen. Is my screen visible?
Yes, I can see your screen clearly.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. A quick. Is my screen visible?
Yes, Apana, but you might want to put it on presentation mode so it's covers the screen. Thank you.
Is it all right? Is it all
We're
right,
still
guys?
seeing the PowerPoint screen, not the presentation screen.
Is it visible now?
Yes, it's visible.
Screen, but it might be freezing if you're not turning to the presentation mode yet.
Is it okay?
Yeah, I think it works.
Okay. I'm Aparna, representing the Global Shapers Coimbatore Hub, India. So we started off in the year 2013, 13th June, and we're going to be having our decade of celebration this year. It was started by one Mr. Arunachalam Muruganandam, who is also called as the Padman of India, who invented low-cost pad for the female. So he was the founding curator, and we have shapers from diverse background, be it from the climate change, social work, entrepreneurship, environment, youth empowerment, and skilling. So we work on these projects connecting to environment, cybersecurity, entrepreneurship, women and health, animal welfare, and emergency response. So yes, and this is our team at this point. These are the people on the top link. So we have 20 shapers on top link, 26 probationary shapers, around 2 alumni, and 1 founding curator. So we're 48 this year. This is our leadership team. So I am the curator, and I have with me Sanjay Prabhakar, who's the vice curator and impact officer. This is our other leadership team members who we allocated for this year. So our initiatives being, the climate change being the main problem, not just in India, but everywhere. We started off with an initiative called Little Things Green. It started off in the year 2020 when COVID hit us, and we had to do something online. So we thought we can create impact by, every week we used to have something called as Little Things Green. One practice a week. One thought for a week, a conscious practice, be it, carry your own water bottle, carry your own bag. So likewise, like we had it for 6 months, and every Friday, 7 p.m., we used to release this conscious practices, and that was going on. Once the COVID subsided, we started doing a lot of activities connecting to lake cleanup, tree plantation, and we used to do a lot of awareness programs in schools and colleges, so that they also get inspired and know more about how they can reduce their carbon footprints. So that's a little about Little Things Green. And this is Mission Nalam. It's more of Mission Nalam means it's more of health. So we do a lot of blood donation camps, going to a hospital. We invite a lot of volunteers from outside also to come volunteer, and we do a lot of blood donation activities. Apart from that, we also work on women health related initiatives as well. Giving them awareness on menstrual hygiene, the sustainable periods, how to take an alternative instead of using the normal plastic pads. So that's about Project Nalam. Shaping entrepreneurs, we identify a lot of young entrepreneurs who are not visible. So we give them a space, and we take videos of them and we publish them, so that we invite a lot of collaborators to support them. So that's more of shaping entrepreneurs. Community welfare initiatives, whenever this emergency thing happens, and this was taken during the COVID, where we supported a lot of people, be it the disability community, providing them with medicines at their doorstep, providing the community workers with the sanitary aids that is supportive, that can be of support to them. We also fed a lot of street dogs, where a lot of, because of the factories and everything getting closed, a lot of street dogs, they were not having food. So we supported by giving them food every day. We also supported a lot of migrants who came to work in Coimbatore with ration supplies, where they were not able to get the support otherwise. We also have another initiative called as iCyberSafe, where we do a lot of programs along with an NGO called as ISEC. So that is about the initiatives that we do, and these are some pictures of the annual curators meet and everything. These are some retreat and learning days. We take our team members for a retreat. We go for a kind of a sustainable journeys, and we do a lot of learning programs there. These are some pictures from the recent days. This year what we have been doing. Yeah. So that's a quick hint about Coimbatore Hub.
Thank you, Aparna, for sharing that. Just to add to that, like the curator in this community is basically just like a leader of this hub. Each year we change this position, and basically this role is to help shapers to learn about this community, really try to launch a hub project. So this person is like at the center of the hub activities. So thank you, Aparna, and let's go to the Diana next.
Hi everyone, thank you, Yuma. Can you hear me clearly, guys?
Yeah, your voice
Okay,
is
so
breaking a bit, so maybe speak a little bit slower.
okay, so yes, I also have like 2 slides of straight to chase of how to introduce you about the hub in Surabaya, especially because most of the people only know if I'm from Indonesia, all people always say, oh, Bali is 3% Indonesia.
Jana, we hear you clearly.
Hello?
We're not able to hear you clearly.
Okay, so can you hear my voice right now clearly? Yeah.
It is slightly, breaking for us. Can you speak a little slow so that we can check?
Yes, I will try. How's but now? Is still breaking or?
I think it's a connection issue. I don't know if you're on Wi-Fi, perhaps if you could use mobile data, if that helps.
Okay. I will text again to finish it first. So maybe you could feel like a pass to the other panelists first.
Yeah, Diana, I can maybe ask like the other panelists to introduce first, so you can just have time to find some places to have better connection. Yeah, then let's go next to Felipe. Can you introduce us about like the Your Hub activities?
Sure. I'll just start, just giving a bit of introduction about where I am from and where our hub is located. So I'm Felipe. I'm from Brazil. More specifically, I was born in the city of Sao Paulo, but I am the curator of the Ribeirão Preto hub. Ribeirão Preto is a city located in the southeast of Brazil, to be more precise, 320 kilometers in the state of Sao Paulo, but to the northwest of the city of Sao Paulo. So it's not a very widely known city outside of Brazil, but here in our context, it's a more or less famous city, which is mostly widely known for being a leading hub for agribusiness. So it's very very important in the sugar cane industry. So that's a brief summary about what is the importance of this city in the wider Brazilian context. So and now I'll speak briefly about our hub. The Ribeirão Preto hub is a very young hub. We have existed since officially since November 2021, but we had a number of issues right at the beginning. So we think that November 2021 is our official anniversary, but March 2022 is March 2023 is our real anniversary. I'm speaking to a crowd of people from emerging markets, except for Yuma. I think we all probably have a family member or an acquaintance. My mother, for instance, she was born in December 10th, but she was wasn't registered until December the 2nd. So we're kind of the same thing, but the other way around. Our official anniversary came before our real anniversary, but that's just a joke. And when it comes to the projects that we've been running, at the moment we have 4 ongoing projects. I'm going to share my screen so that you guys can see the whole picture. And can you see my screen?
Yes.
So great. So this is we had just a brief overview of the hub itself, and now I'm going to give you an overview of the projects that we're running. So we have at the moment 4 ongoing projects. One of them is very early, so you won't be seeing them in my presentation. So the first one is Projeto Maria, which is a project initially spearheaded by the Lisbon hub, that is the hub in the capital city of the country of Portugal, and it is a financial literacy project. It's based around a book that is devised for children at varying age ranges. So we have been able to adapt this book to better fit different age ranges according to each hub's needs. And at the moment it's here in Brazil. It's being organized as a cross hub initiative. And we're running it in conjunction with the Brasilia hub, which is the hub in the federal capital of Brazil, and the hub of Rio de Janeiro. Well, Rio, I think, needs no introduction. It's probably our most widely known city in the world. And we're in a phase where we're trying to find partners to finance the book and to finance the publication of the book. And once we're done with this phase and we get the books to the especially government-run schools, Once we're done with that, each hub will start a more local phase of the project in which we will focus in doing activities with children in the schools to ensure that high readership of the book. So there's no point in simply distributing the book, but we have to make sure that pupils read the book and apprehend the main concepts. Our second project is called Recycling Knowledge. It's a environmental education project focused in explaining the way to properly dispose of electronic waste, since it's a very special kind of waste. So for those who don't know this, it can be quite dangerous, especially batteries. They can start fire, so you really have to make sure that you dispose of it properly. And I believe just one place for proper disposal of electronic waste in the city of Ribeirão Preto. So we're aiming at the objectives here are twofold. So number one, we have to teach children and young people and teenagers how to properly dispose of electronic waste, and to make sure that they act as propagators of this kind of knowledge in especially their own families, because, well, the idea is they acquired this knowledge at school, and then they bring this knowledge home and spread this to their families and perhaps their other family members, uncles, aunts, and grandparents, and so on and so forth. And we are in the midst of making slight alterations to the project scope, but I think the general picture is pretty much this. And we also have Adaptalar, which, if we're going to translate this loosely, would be something like Home Adapt. It's one of our most innovative projects. It's focused in creating simple small household automations for small automations to improve the lives of people with motor disabilities and to increase their general quality of life, health, and well-being. So the idea is, so we have already implemented our first, we have already automated our first household. This gentleman in the picture, his name is Geraldo. He's a cousin of one of our shapers, and he's a person with a disability, and we've been able to automate pretty much all the main functions in his home. So he's able to turn on and off his lights with using his voice, turn on and off his fan, because the city of Ribeirão Preto is very hot, so he needs his fan, his lights, his television, and so on and so forth. Finally, we also have the, how do I stop? Okay, so finally we have a project called Partnership of Purpose. It's been spearheaded. It's a global initiative being spearheaded by the New York Manhattan Hub. As a matter of fact, if it's not being presented right now or in the next coming days, or has been recently presented, so Saisha, who's the curator of the New York Hub, she was invited to go to Davos and to speak and present the Partnership of Purpose initiative. So essentially, it's a project and NGO accelerating initiative. So the idea is that the Global Shapers Hub connect a local NGO and a local company, so that they create connections and accelerate existing initiatives. So that's we are part of this project. We are the only hub in Brazil that is participating, but we have, I think, 5 or 6 hubs in Latin America that are participating as well. So this is a brief summary of what we've been doing as a hub, and I'm looking forward to keeping up this conversation with the rest of you guys.
Thank you, Philip. I think they were very powerful projects from your side. Okay, let me ask Diana once again, like, how's your connection right now?
Okay. Hello. How is about now? Is still good or okay?
I think it's
Finally.
Yeah.
Thank you, and thank you everyone. So let me introduce myself. I'm Diana Ilyas from Surabaya Hub, Indonesia. Indonesia. I know several people when I'm talking about Indonesia, they always said, "Oh, Bali is beautiful island." But I want to give you additional information today that Indonesia have around 17,000 islands. So we not only have Bali that are very famous, but we have also other islands. And coming from that, we also seeing about the topographies and also other resources that we have in Indonesia, especially in Surabaya. So that's the reason why we focus in several impact areas that we have in those first community. So we focus on environmental and also in increasing the skills of the people in Surabaya, because we are also the second largest cities in Indonesia for the economic growth. And I will present my screen.
Yeah, Gianna, you can share your screen and maybe just speak a little bit slowly because sometimes still your voices are breaking.
Okay, so I will try to speak slowly. So this is a hub in Indonesia. I also want to introduce the other hubs that we have in Indonesia. We have 6 hubs right now. We have Jakarta, Bandung, Surakarta, Surabaya, Semarang, and we also then have Denpasar in Bali. And in the last year, in December, we had Indonesia the first annual retreat that we held in Jakarta, and we decided to build collaboration and synergize between all hubs that we have in Indonesia. And this is also the several program that we're building together with Bandung. We have mastering the art and focusing in the mental health area. So in here from the Global Shepherd Surabaya, participate as the panelists inside, and we try to connect everything that we have because we know together that several crises that happens in this world is connected each other, and we call it as the polycrisis. And coming from that, we also connected these things together with the mental health and also climate change. So that's the reason why we're talking about the impact of the climate change into the mental health, together with the other hub like Calabar hub and also Iloilo hub. And this is the main project that we have in Surabaya hub, because we also new hub, same like Okilipi. So in here, Surabaya Hub started in 2022, and we have 2 main projects. The first one is Green Heart. This is like the waste management education for the students, and starting from that, we want to let students know about the responsible waste management, because this is also the issues that we have in Indonesia. We have a lot of biodiversities, we have a lot of natural resources, but we also have challenges coming from that. And currently, the several landfill that we had also exploded, and we also have a problem with the the collection, the rules, and also about the education about the waste management itself. So coming from that, we try to build like the fundamental education to the students to build the responsibility and how they can see the real problem that we have in environmental and how they can help to find the solution. And we also have a collaboration with one of the international schools in Surabaya called Surabaya Cambridge Schools, to building the materials and also the project for the students itself. And the second one, this is another advance of the waste management. We have Connect Soup. So this is like the waste tracking and trading application that we're building together. The Tumbuh AI, the one of the company in Surabaya that building platform application. Coming from that, we also have several goals to connect that each stakeholders in Surabaya, because currently we still having the sectoral area and we're not connected each other. And we also want to introduce to the citizen about the facilitator that we have and the several stakeholders people or stakeholders community that they're also working in this area, especially in waste management and also the recycles areas. And coming from this project, we already collected around 123 inorganic waste and already treated around 17%. And that's like a big number for us as the starter point, because yes, in Surabaya we still have a lot of challenges, especially for the education, and also we still have challenges to building the connection between a stakeholder inside. And we also have the several collaboration project. The first one is Steppers 8. I believe there is several shepherds are already aware about this movement and Surabaya Hub as the volunteer. So we try to collect several donations coming from our cities and also share about this news in our platform in social media. And we also have collaboration with other hub like Bandung Hub, and also we have collaboration with Kuching Hub to building the podcast. And the other one we have a collaboration with Surabaya to building the like an event, responsible events, and we also help them to building the community inside. And the last one is West Up project together with Surabaya's government. So this is like the project they're running currently in Surabaya Hub, and we're still developing a lot of things inside. And because this year in Indonesia we'll have election for the president, so we're also building a project together with Jakarta Hub about the like workshop for the election itself to reduce the misinformation and disinformation and how we can using our voice in the right way. Hopefully, can cover about Surabaya Hub, and hopefully I can explain it without any issues and just everything that I said. Thank you, Yuma.
Thank you, Diana. They are all amazing projects as well. Very impactful, and like I see like a lot of points importance of like why you do that. Okay, let me pass to Maz now. Can you share with us your story now?
Sure. After Aparna did her presentation, I was able to quickly put up some pictures and, reuse my showcase presentation. So I'm going to present my screen now. And I was, I was sure to add a couple of pictures while the others were speaking. So I'll just quickly do that right now. And then we can move on from there. I mean, I don't have a lot, but it should probably be something was I had 5 minutes to put it all together. All right, so the Global Shaper Islamabad Hub in Pakistan is basically it's very primarily focused on the children specifically, and why that is that we are looking at it in a long-term perspective, where all of our projects somehow relate to how the people who are going to get older, people who are going to be the youth very soon, people who are in their grade 10, grade 9, grade 11, we try to shape their minds in the right and the most positive sort of way, professionally and personally. So there's this project that we called Career Counseling for All. This is where we go to all of those schools that do not have college counselors, who do not have coaches who are able to, help you understand the professional world. And these are mostly government colleges that is where the underprivileged or the lower middle class lot of students go, and they do not really have any exposure at all. So what we do is we go to these schools, we tell them what's cooking, we tell them what the world is working on, we tell them what what technologies are going well, that there's public policy that you can study now. There's a lot more fields that we have in the world. There's sports, there's health science, there's psychology, all of the things that they need to know before heading on to college and choosing a career for themselves. So this is what the project has primarily been, but now we've incorporated a format of training within the career counseling project, which means that now we're able to not only tell them what things are like. I don't just tell them what AI is like. I teach them how it works. From the surface of it, not delving into the code or the math, but actually how it works. I teach them, the entire team, they teach them how entrepreneurship works, what policies, what characteristics you need to have for entrepreneurship. Similarly, we are now moving on to teaching them marketing and sales as well. So that, adds to the entrepreneurship part, but it's a field of itself. So these are some pictures from different schools that we have worked with, and we have partnered with the Sister to Sister Exchange program in the United States, and they were able to fund one of our projects as well. Currently, we've done over 500 students. We have also trained faculty members with these skills. So that's 20 plus faculty members that we've done in the Islamabad region, and bearing in mind that these are the people who do not have access to any other exposure at all, right? So the long-term aim of this project remains to teach and introduce skills to the future leaders, because there's a lot of things that you can do immediately. Like you could probably feed people, or you could probably help them come out of, a particular problem. But when we're talking about kids, if you're able to put them in the right path, they will themselves find a way out for their families and for their communities. So this is like a long-term goal that we're trying to work on. The other project that we have is the Leaders of the Future Bootcamp, this was the 5th year of this project. We have always worked around having an entire day of bootcamp where we do skill training. We do trainings on, leadership, technology, um, anything that you need to be a leader, right? For this year, we primarily talked about tackling climate change through transformative solutions. So we had an amazing lineup of a lot of partners coming from the data science domain, coming from the humanitarian domain, coming from the leadership domain, and coming from the education domain. So we were able to put together a curriculum that included not just tackling climate change through awareness, but rather through how technology is working towards tackling it, how psychology is working towards tackling it, how belief systems are working towards tackling it. And the outcomes was that we had 50 plus participants for this particular edition, not all of them together, just for this one, 5 discussion points and 7 supporting partners. We had an amazing reach. We did an impact survey after the event, so we had 98% people satisfied, which means that 49 out of 50 people who came in were satisfied by the event. We had an 82% increase in knowledge, 82% increase in likelihood to take action on what was delivered. We had a press release from the media side, and we had over 62,000 reaches and hits on Instagram. Other than that, these were the pictures that I was able to put together. So you'll see that Islamabad Hub is it's always together, which means that whenever we're doing these food drives, we're making the food and putting them into packages together, that you'll see on the page on the right. This is our project which celebrates interfaith harmony with the Christian community in Pakistan, which happens to be really less in number, even less than 1%, I believe. And we go to this particular church. I don't remember its name, but we've seen this church grow from just a small building to actually being decorated into something, right? So we celebrate Christmas with them, we celebrate New Year with them, and we help them with food, we help them with ration bags and everything. So on the left is our Global Shapers Well-Being Squad. This is a squad that we have for the well-being, right? This is where we usually go out and try out good food. And this is where we collaborated with the Rawalpindi Hub for a tree plantation drive, right? Other than that, again, like I said, that we are children focused. So these are all different projects. Here we have mental health training for orphans. This is not awareness. This is actual exercises and training for orphans who feel down, or who feel that they are missing out, which is a fairly logical thing to feel. So this is the training aspect that covers the orphans. This is the training aspect that covers the underrepresented and the underprivileged children in counseling and trainings, right? These are again orphans, and this here is our deaf community, and we provide trainings to the deaf, IT trainings, day-to-day management, day-to-day chores, day-to-day, how do you file a case to the police if something has happened, or how do you reach out to a hospital when something has happened. So this is the part where we primarily work on uplifting and upskilling the deaf community. So that's a bit about the Islamabad Hub. I was not able to add more things because of the short of time, but thank you, Aparna, for the idea. And I'm happy that we were able to put up this presentation and show it to you guys over here. Thank you.
Thank you, Miles. That's a great pictures, and then it's lovely to see it. Yeah, let me also quickly share about Fukuoka Hub, where I'm from, and like we can just go to quick discussion after that. So I'm from Fukuoka Hub in Japan, and Fukuoka City is in the western side of Japan, very near to South Korea. It's a city of over 1.5 million people. It's quite a big city actually in Japan. And Fukuoka Hub has many shapers from different backgrounds, like doctor, school teachers, and etc. And I'm also I'm a former professional ballet dancer and also working as software developer right now. So we have diverse group of people in my hub, and Yeah, let me actually share a little bit of hub projects from Fukuoka Hub. One of the Fukuoka Hub projects, 1 Month for the Futures, offers study tours to the participants to learn about Minamata disease and the region that suffered from it. Minamata City is actually very close to Fukuoka, and several years ago, hundreds of people died from the seawater pollution, and that was caused by organic mercury in factory effluent. And although that was like a long time ago, the government, the company that caused the disease, did not offer enough remedies to the those suffering, and the court cases are still ongoing. And that's why Fukuoka Hub launched a project to offer the people to learn more about this disease, because we learned about this disease in the textbook, but we don't really know about what happened after that, and it's still ongoing. So the Sherpas are working hard to prevent such tragedies from happening again in the next generation. Another project that I want to mention is Climate Tech Japan, and basically it sends out a weekly e-newsletter every week and on the state of investment on climate tech in Japan. And it's very important because awareness of climate change is still low in Japan, and we really have to raise awareness about it. So it also hosts global summit with experts from Japan and also abroad. And I think this kind of initiative is very important in Japan to really scale up accelerate the speed of stopping this climate change to proceed forward. Yeah, and last but not least, there was a huge earthquake happened on January 1st this year in Japan, and the earthquake struck in the area with many elderly people at the beginning of the year. It was a huge tragedy, and many shapers in Japan have been trying to launch a project together, Cross Hub, to help basically support to help providing aid to those suffering from this earthquake. Japan experienced a huge earthquake in 2011 in Fukushima, and we have seen the risk of not only people dying from it, but also communities suffering. So, because there are some shapers experiencing who basically have been through this earthquake 10 years ago, we have been launching a project to support areas. So I think that's some example of power of collaboration. So that's a brief introduction about the shapers in Japan. So that being said, we have already seen that many projects showcase. It's already amazing to see like a lot of initiatives happening in this community global wide. But let us revisit the importance of collaboration and also like why we should speak up for many issues happening globally. So okay, Philippe, maybe can you share us your thoughts about like why it is important for us to really speak up to accelerate solutions for some of the pressing issues happening worldwide?
Sure. Let's well, I think it boils down to I think we should start at the beginnings and go back to one of the reasons why the global shaper community exists, which is the youth demographic is usually not very well represented in spaces of power. So just to give you an example, here in Brazil, the median age of Congress is 52, 53 years old, whereas the median age of the population is 35. So there's very few young people represented in Congress, and one of the reasons being, of course, that there's a minimum age to be part of Congress. Just to give an example, and this has important consequences in when it comes to public policy. So Brazil, as I've mentioned, is a middle-aged country, relatively young. So our median age is 35 years old. However, we spend as a proportion of GDP about the same as Japan does with old age pensions, which is pretty insane. Japan, Yuma can confirm this, is a much older country. I think it's a country with the most people which are 100 years old in the world. So we have that. We also have the fact that, and I'm going to be a little bit more specific about Latin America at the moment. So Latin America has 8% of the world population. However, we have 1/3 of all murders. So I think this is an issue which of course crime safety is a problem all over the world, but I think it's unfortunately quite unique in Latin America. The level of violence that we have here, of crime violence. Of course, other countries face different kinds of violence, national strife, struggles for independence of subnational groups, etc. But here we have a severe crime safety issue, and this is an issue that affects primarily young people, especially young men, and which to be completely frank with you, not all national governments here in the region are neglecting or even worse, offering counterproductive solutions. But I think even our global shapers community and Ribeirão Preto and myself included, we haven't addressed this issue enough. And as I've mentioned, it's an issue that affects disproportionately youth. And finally, I think the climate issue is also a problem. Older persons probably will not outlive a complete climate collapse. However, people our age and people even younger than us will have to live in a world where temperatures are currently rising, and the effects that we have caused in the environments are, some of them cannot be undone, and we are going, and the current and the future generations we're going to have to live with the choices made by previous generations that either didn't know or didn't care enough about the environment, and therefore did not prevent the climate crisis to get to the point where it is today. And I speak from a point of view of a country that holds most of the Amazonic rainforest. So I think this is a brief summary of what I think and the importance of why youth should collaborate on global issues.
Thank you for your summary. I really agree that we have many global issues that we should collaborate together to really resolve. Diana, can you also share with us, in your opinion, what you think is the power of collaboration?
Yes, I also agree with Felipe that we need to have collaboration, but there are also need development of countries. So from that, we also need to hear and find a solution
Diana?
from the other.
Diana, sorry. Yeah, I think you're speaking fast and your voices are breaking a bit.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to repeat again. Because Indonesia is a developing country. So in here, we try to find a solution and collaboration with other countries, like get inspiring and so inspired by others. And I also noticed that most of the population in Laos are people.
I'm so sorry, Diana, but your voices are still breaking. Yeah, I think it's a connection, and I don't know, somehow when you were sharing your screen, it was much clearer. But let me actually pass the microphone to someone else so that we can hear someone else's opinion as well. Yeah.
And my camera also, I think
you put your video off and speak for a moment.
Yes. Okay.
Can you say something now?
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, I think it's better. Yeah.
Okay, because currently I'm saying the video of forest, honestly, because I have another project for the environment and biodiversity. I'm sorry for that. Thanks. And yeah, I will try to answer again about the question why this is important for us to have collaboration with and like with the other country, because Indonesia is developing country right now, and we also have several like challenges that we have and several things, and that we're thinking if we can find or discuss with the other people in the other side, it can help us to find the best solution for us and try to like implement in this city, and also try to fit it with our values, of course. And besides that, we also noticed that most of the population in Indonesia is dominated by the young people, young generation. It's around 43% is a young generation currently, and we have like a strong voice in here, and there's a lot of facility that we can use, like the internet connection, that we can connect with other people without going there. We just can using the facilities that we have, and also several privileges. And we want to using that things and optimize everything that we have right now. And the other things also, because we want to introduce the outside people about Indonesia itself, because we want to people know about how beautiful is our country, about our culture as well, about the potential that you might can find in our country, and the things that we can thinking and developing together. Because yes, we living in the huge country. We have 17,000 island, and we also have a large of maritime in here and sea. And coming from that, we also try to push again about the resources that we have and how we can connect with the other stakeholders as well. But before going outside, we also noticed that the internal collaboration is very matter for us right now. So that's also the reason why we try to connect with the local government and also the local community, and try to find the things that they already built for the city, and how we can like adapt and also developing that things and using the outside idea. So in the vision about think globally and act globally. So that's also the things that we want to deliver into the other people. That's up for me, Yuma.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that collaboration, the way of collaboration really changed after COVID, because before COVID, we didn't have like such efficient way of communication. And I think like everything really changed, and like some of the things should come back, like just like it went like the way before. But I think like some of the things like have improved actually, and now we have like better, like kind of more powerful tools to collaborate together. And I think, yeah, that's why like the Global Shapers community can really utilize those tools and also opportunities to really make changes to the society. Yeah, let me also ask maybe Alfred, like yeah, maybe you can share some of the main issues that your countries or regions are facing at the moment, so that like that we can really know about the local context, and also we have many global issues that we have to kind of solve
Yeah.
together as a collaborating um, group of people. So yeah, can you maybe share with us like your opinion, your take about like those issues?
Yeah, I think I'll try my best to tie in some of the other points that Felipe and Diana raised around how much of youths coming together and raising their voices, collaborating, how much of an impact that has in terms of social societal issues. If we look back at tying this into Diana's story around the COVID break and something that you said around that, Yuma, how that the COVID period sort of like really, really exposed some deeply seated segregation lines in my own country. We also saw that, in fact, in the US, that's when we began to see movements like the Black Lives Matter movement, young people coming together to really, really kind of ask for change, in terms of equity and diversity and inclusion for Black people. We also had some sort of movement like that in my own home country, Nigeria, where in the local context, we called it the Soke movement, where young people began to look into critical issues that affect us, such as police brutality. Rogue police units they were going bizarre against in terms of the actions that they meted out against young people like myself. Young people were into tech. We also began to see young people begin to raise their voices. That period really, really lent lent a, lent a voice to what some of us are really, really facing in terms of neglect, from those in political powers, and how much of how much of an impact has come so far. If Nigeria is a country that you follow in terms of in the tech scene, we've been able to put up a lot of very, very innovative tech solutions, but some of those solutions are sometimes being stifled by the policies put in place by our local policymakers, by our local politicians, those in the power places. So the COVID period really, really brought those problems to the fore. But what it did for us was that young people began to see that they had the power to create change, using platforms like Twitter, using platforms like Facebook, using platforms like WhatsApp, virtual communities that allow people from across the country, from across the continent to really, really speak about these issues, began to help amplify our voices, began to help bridge these conversations, began to bridge, the gap between some of the ideas that people have around how they could create change. So, and I really, really believe that that's how much it was, in fact, that period that I began to sort of apply to be a founding curator for the Global Shapers Hub here in my local country, because I could see that we're somewhat on the cusp of change in the country, and a local community like Global Shapers that allows me to connect with someone like yourself, Vilma, Apana. Apana I met during the Global Shapers Annual Summit in India, and today we're currently in a virtual event. The networks that allow us to bridge these ideas, the networks that allow us, to sort of channel conversations together, it helps us, begin to find ideas. It helps us to begin to amplify our voice. More people can watch these videos, more people can hear these conversations and really, really be moved to actually create change. You might not be able to create change on a macroeconomic scale. You might not be able to create change, as a governor we will, but, like Maya Angelou said, there is no stopping what a group of little people can do. Actually, what little people in any corner of the world, when they come together, when they can sort of canvas conversations, when they can pull ideas together, there is no stopping the amount of change that they can create. So this sort of collaborative spaces like the Global Shapers have begun to really, really, in Nigeria, I know we have, if I'm correct, the figure is probably around 20 plus Global Shaper hubs, and we've begun to really, really create effective strategies for really turning change in terms of inclusion, including young people in the digital movement, creating better and much more, investor-friendly policies for the tech space, as well as issues around, rogue nation policing, is like I mentioned, that broke out during the COVID pandemic, other issues around infrastructure for education. This is something that global shapers like myself and all the other hubs in the country have begun to really, really put heads together, bringing our hands together to ensure that we can change the narrative for ourselves. Based on, I think one thing that I was really, really happy from the previous elections just last year is for the first time ever, we had somebody who really, really had a base of experience in the tech space become the Minister for Innovation and Technology, a very, very young person who I have not met him in person, but from his profile and from some of the young people I work with in the tech space, he's someone who we all admire in the industry. So we believe that bringing more young people like that man, his name is Bosun Tichani, actually bringing more young people like that into leadership could be the best. In fact, undeniably is the best path for us to begin to see change as a country. And I'm really, really hopeful for the future that more conversations like this, more spaces where young people can collaborate are the best way to go for solving the societal issues.
That's a powerful statement. Thank you, Alfred. I also believe that young people are actively making action to see the change that we want to see. And I think that's the power of the youth as well. Because like we are here to speak, but also we are here to make action, and the collective action is very powerful when like that we really connect together at a global scale. Let me ask just one last question to Aparna. What do you think? Like, I mean, like we have been talking about collaboration, like how we can really solve issues together. But what do you think is the kind of collaboration that you think that should happen to make the impact to our society and make our world better? You're muted.
Thank you so much, Shima, for that question. Mas, do you want to add quickly on that? Because you said you want to leave. Do you want to quickly add a point
Could
to
you
it?
could you just quickly repeat the question? I'd just add one cent of it from my end. If you could just repeat the question. I was actually typing a goodbye message and then I didn't hear the question. If you could quickly do that.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. My question was like basically what kind of collaboration should happen to make an impact in our society, and just give us like a briefly your opinion.
Honestly, I'm fine. I think I'm fine with any, or if I was collaborating, I wouldn't look at the profile. I'd look at the energy. And if it's, I don't mind what domain there is, what age group we're collaborating with, as soon as we match the vibe, as soon as their profile does state that they're doing something that we also want to do, or they're doing something that has actually impacted something else, we'd go for it. And at this point, we shouldn't be choosing. We should just go for things. And that's why I'm here. When Aparna asked me, I did not know about Rise Summit, right? But I just went for it. I think it was brilliant. And this is how we need to collaborate. This is just one step to it. So yeah, thank you guys. I have to hop off. So this was brilliant talking to you all. Thank you so much. Keep collaborating.
Thank you, Maz, for sharing your take.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Let me
Aparna, you can go ahead as well.
Yeah. I just thought Mas was leaving, and if he can take a point, and then he'll go happily. So that's why I just thought let him do that. Yeah. The reason why I was just thinking like we should do something like this as part of Rice World Summit also. Maybe we can use this as a name where we can bring people together, and then somewhere we start collaborating. I'm unsure like without this could we have had a kind of a conversation otherwise. So we already have a lot of collaborations, especially through Global Shapers. We have already met close to 500 people, curators during the annual curators meet. But have we all leveraged it? Not actually, right? So that's the point. We've been knowing a lot of people, and that's the idea. Like Global Shapers has already given us a lot of opportunity, but I think it's already been 6 months. How many hubs have we actually reached out again, and have we collaborated with them? No. And I think be it a regional level, local level, like we have been meeting a lot of people every day, but the point is like we have not taken a bit of time to actually call back and leverage both of our hubs strength and synergize and work together. So I think we have a lot of collaboration, be it in our Coimbatore thing, like we have been working with multiple NGOs, be it the startups, entrepreneurs, be it multiple stakeholders we work with, but I think we have to keep working with them, and we keeping updating the partners or be it the stakeholders about the work we do, and we should keep hopping and say like we are doing this, and somewhere around when the subject what we are working in comes in front of their eyes, they always will have a kind of a chance to come back and ask us, okay, do you want to collaborate? So and India on terms of collaboration of youth and other aspects, like India being having in this August 2023 we had a survey, and close to about 65% of population is youth. So focusing on youth, even this year, we initially had only working group of people in Global Shapers, but this year, like close to 26 people, which we have recruited are youth, more of young population. More than the working group, we have been seeing a lot of responsibility, fresh ideas in them. A lot of innovations actually have started happening inside our hub. More of responsibility than the working group, if we have to say. And the working group is now feeling a kind of a FOMO, a fear of missing out the whole scenario. It has been active just because of them. So youth collaboration is more important. Working along with our local stakeholders, be it our state and the country level, not just the country level, but we also try to have to explore the global network, just like the Global Shapers community. Post that also we have to post the Global Shapers community, despite the age limitation. I think we should still explore a lot of other networks, and we just have to leverage our own strength together, so to make some global impact together. So for me, collaboration is the major key for any hub or any organizations to do a better initiative together. Just like I mentioned, we're all working as silos, individually as a hub, a group, organizations. But when we all put our strength together, one might be good in something, one might be good in something. If we all can do some collaborative work, and that's the power packed stuff that can come out of some initiative. Yeah. So I hope at least from this, at least this 6 hubs, we would definitely want to click on and work on at least one area of interest somewhere around on mental health or environment or the climate change, somewhere around. If we can kickstart something in next 3 months, I think that should be the end result of this conversation that had happened today. So that's from me, Yuma. Over to you.
They are all great points. I think you have been showing us like the responsibility of global shapers, but firstly organizing this summit for us and like the creating the space to really make like kind of remind us of like why we are here, like what we should do as global shaper. I think that's very important. Thank you for sharing that. So yeah, we are already past the time, so I think we have to wrap up this session. I think like for me the key takeaways is like one, I think the creating environment where it is easier for young people to speak up, make their voices heard. I think it's important to basically bring about social change. And I think, like as Maz said, like the taking the first action, that's very important. But also we have to patiently keep taking actions to really bring change in the long term. I think that way we can really bring voices to the society, and that's how we change society. And there are many issues, like as we have seen, like that there are issues specific to a local city, but also there are issues that we have to collaborate together to resolve at global level. So yeah, we as a global shaper, we have a hub, and that's a safe space also for the hub members to really resolve issues that are very important to those local cities. But also we have the network to connect with like more young change makers like around the world. And that's the power of community, and that's the power of collaboration. I hope that you found some inspiration and energy and also encouragement from this session. And I was very lucky to be a part of this session with all of you. Thank you for that. So yeah, that is a wrap. Thank you for joining the session, and it was very great to be with you all. And I hope that you really enjoyed the session. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank
Thank
you,
you, Philip.
everyone.
Thank you, Alfred. Thank you, Diana. Thank you, Yuma, for moderating this session very beautifully. Philip, it must be really early morning, but you made it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it was 7:30 a.m. when we started.
I understand.
Thank you for inviting me, Api.
Thank you
Thank you
very
for
much.
hosting you.
We hope to, work together. 100%. Okay? Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Bye, Phyllis.
Bye-bye, everyone.
See you.